OK， 咁呢個係今個月免費嘅 PS 會員嘅 game 啦，都好似好耐之前。What Remains of Edith Finch。咁咧，我本身咧，我部 PS4 就日文嘅，咁咧我發現佢日文呢有個好得意嘅名，英文叫 What Remains of Edith Finch， 日文咧就叫 Finch家の奇妙な屋敷で起きたこと，喺 Finch 家族嘅奇妙嘅大屋入邊發生嘅事情，我覺得好好笑。anyway 啦，佢其實係冇得教語言，所以我要將成部機轉咗佢，轉咗做英文咁樣，佢而家就正常翻。其實我以前都有諗過買呢隻 game， 不過冇買到，結果而家免費。我要做啲咩
？A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
This is a horror game. I
lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
佢個顏色咧，我見到好似嗰隻 game 叫咩 ？Everybody Gone Through Rupture。R 一仔咁神奇。
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
No trespassing.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
Okay.
Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
I開始覺得好 creepy。
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Oh, no. 我唔係跟住佢。
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it.
咁點解你返返嚟
But now I
咧
had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
？OK， 所以呢家人有啲，哇！我唔想入去。即係呢家人有啲奇怪嘅。
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
其實都唔使講佢哋有啲奇怪，呢間屋已經就奇怪。
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Yeah. 有冇得教一粒點呢？ Great.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
正常人都會啦，OK。Anyway， 我哋入去先。個答案。即係咪你全家都死晒？
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Wait, what?
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Garage? No? Oh, 其實我幾驚風鈴。Wait, what?
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
呢條
The
匙冇
power had
用
been
嘅。
turned off the night we left.
This is weird.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Louis, Edith, Eddie, Dawn. In loving memory, Edith Finch. 佢係佢細佬嚟嘅，細佢1年。唔係，睇錯 ，sorry， 佢係佢阿哥嚟嘅，大佢11歲。冇記錯，好似1999年出世，1988。直驚2017年，7年前過咗身。
Like how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Where's Molly?
Or how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
我又諗起講話咧，呢啲紙盒咧係有個故㗎嘛，就係講話點解睇親嗰啲美劇啊、成日嗰啲咧，佢全部都係用呢一隻盒咧，咁係佢唔關牌子定乜嘢事嘅，佢係好耐以前攞嚟裝嗰啲叫咩杯殼類嗰啲咧，佢係研發出嚟嘅一種嘢，即係後來咧佢哋就個個都用咁樣，所以佢哋啲中餐就係攞呢啲嚟裝，唔關嗰啲咩公司成，即係唔關嗰啲唔同咩餐廳嗰啲 sponsor 成嗰啲，係佢哋全部都係用呢啲盒。
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
但係你呢度冇曱甴喎 ？Why？
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
全部女仔都 E 字頭嘅，啊唔係喎，佢阿媽叫 Dawn，sorry。哦，嗰啲猜木板嗰啲聲。
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Oh, 呢隻嘢不安，係好怕呢啲聲。不過自己屋企都係真嘅木板地，間唔中行下會嚇親自己。Barbara.
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
I cannot turn it off. Great.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Milton 又有個人死咗。Edie 咦，佢同佢阿哥一樣，佢有兩個阿哥，大哥同阿婆同一年過身。
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
What? 呢家人唔係黐線㗎。
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Oh. 2003年消失咗。好驚。
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
吓？等等，你頭先唔係話你隻貓 Molly 中意食嗰啲罐頭嘅咩？但係佢1947年死咗，你睇漏咗啲咩？
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Louis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Ooh. I thought.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
好驚啊！好驚！刪晒啲聲啲先，好恐怖啊！
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Reading
this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan.
但係我又聽唔到佢講咩，加大聲啲，刪細聲啲嘅音樂，廢物。
But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
哇！你收得咁快，我好驚喎，大佬。
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
點解佢哋屋企嗰啲細路全部都咁快死嘅？啱啱 realise 係 Molly 係一個女仔，然之後佢哋又叫佢哋隻貓做 Molly。
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
This is really creepy.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Oh damn! 玩呢味嘢啊！
My Halloween candy was all gone. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
約魚啊！食埋條魚。
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back. I kept eating and eating.
Oh no!
I ate a lot of things that night.
No! You kill yourself.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her.
Oh my god.
And suddenly, I was a cat.
Wait, what?
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
The jet咧？
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
How do I get there?
I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits.
Cola? Oh.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark!
Ah! 割錢咗。好似係 human fall flat 咁。
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Oh.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
Oh, 嗰啲聲好不安啊！
I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. across the water, I smelled something new, something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe. I got closer and closer.
Wait, is this Molly's room?
All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have. This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
1937年
We got along and it was a good place to hide from my mom. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery.
我想望下佢嗰個倒影。
His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways. even in her 90s. Sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
What the?
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
I think there's a secret in this bathroom by Sven and Edith Finch.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Oh, careful, girl.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Oh, 我呢就諗起兜蝦殺七，唔得。Milton. And list.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
To command center.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin, I'm
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
Oh,
That's
no.
what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing. After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
咁多機關嘅。
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it. Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara. Mom must have locked the third-floor stairs on the night we left.
咁多時間落起啲嘢嘅你哋。出嚟呢度咯，再捐入去咯。
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
What?
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
又係好後生嘅，16歲。
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up, a has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
誒，我控制㗎。
And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Oh my god.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old bridge rattled and grew still.
Okay, okay.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
What the fuck is that?
Walter, are you there?
show was still on.
Orcas Island police described the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
What?
Had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Oh, 嗰個骷髏骨啊
Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
What?
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
You stop it. Ew.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
咁又係嘅，的確係 remembered。哇！嚇死我啦！呢個人台。點解仲會有個蛋糕喺度？咁完整嘅蛋糕已經發晒毛啊、爛晒有曱甴啊成日。 好似巴哈17咁樣。
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
我唔想去，我唔想去。你望下差啲咩先？全部都好後生就死晒咯喎！佢哋啲人，哇！突然間咁暗嘅。Oh damn！ 我驚，閂晒聲添。同個漫畫入邊畫嘅一樣嘅。你玩我啊？Fan?
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
咩聲啊
？I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
It
turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
What? Cao con đi. Sao thế rồi? Cao con đi xí.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
Huh?
If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
然之後我要死呢度啦。Walter， 呢個長
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
都有呢啲一粒一點點嘅。
It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can. I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara. And Molly. And Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it.
哇！我以為佢攞個錘仔搏死佢自己。
I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Oh.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Oh.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
It's just sad.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Okay.
don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
佢阿媽都死咗，仲有幾個人都未揾到 Gus Gregory、John
But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery. I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant. I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Okay. 嗰個粉紅色廁所，我就真係要較光啲，我係睇唔到間房。佢好似咧嗰啲執相嘅時候教嗰啲 fade 咁樣咧，一層霧咁樣，哎呀睇唔清嘅條嘢。
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
呢個都好正常，好多人都係咁。自拍。
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
哦，菲林機嗰啲。
What? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
It's
too early, Dad.
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Smile, Dawn. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are. Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. Hey!
That's a keeper.
Nothing quite like being outside. I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Good eyes, Dawn.
佢又做咗呢個菲林機嘅 feel finder，但係佢啲數值係唔識用。啲 shutter 啊。其實呢一種哎呀撳錯掣。其實呢一種都幾難鋪，即係好難睇得清係咪真係 sharp 嘅。有可能有別像啲即係一斜嗰啲喺中間嗰啲啫。數字。因為你唔真係 sharp 咗嘅話，雖然都會 out 數，但係唔真係 sharp 咗嘅話，好容易睇得到。太大光圈啦！影邊度啊要？頭先唔係我影嗰邊之後佢話 good eyes 咩？影個像。
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Now keep yourself squared up, elbows down, like we practiced. Whenever you're ready. Great shot, Dawn!
You part?
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Dawn, just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Ah! Oh, damn.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Really死得好慘。哦，我喺頭先呢個 set timer 影相呢一度走唔返出嚟。天光嘅。1950至1983， 33歲，又係53歲嗰陣。唔得，頭先嗰個真係好震撼。好啦，繼續。哇！影低咗自己，影低咗自己死嗰一刻，之後佢個女仲要曬返呢一堆相出嚟。Damn.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Gregory。離婚。
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
成日講話 BB 好容易見到啲靈異嘢。
Gregory, it's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like. Reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination.
Oh, Calvin.
Whatever it was, he saw. Sure made him happy. I know how silly it sounds. But I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw.
Oh, 咁肥啊！
Hey, there's so much I don't understand. About Gregory. About everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
What's happening?
imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
而家見到佢個圖啦。
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I
now
remember.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power, but all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
I wish that.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you. She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Substantial.佢哋成間屋就係一個墓園。Emergency evacuation plan? Finch household. 我想知你哋點樣走啊！真係。Grab your baby. Wow, 佢哋軍訓啊！
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
陰公4個月喺度玩啲咁嘅嘢，爬嚟爬去。
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Wow, 有電腦喎！嗰時咩年代已經係Sanjay啊，好快就死咗。
Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
好大喎！呢啲間屋已經。
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
嚇！佢哋有個家族歷史教室。
But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
有才華。
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
真係有才華。
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush. was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Yeah.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself.
佢間屋係一路咁樣前進上去。
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Louis's room. Except Louis.
佢媽明明係密封晒啲門，但係佢又冇封嗰啲窗嗰啲，咁有咩意思
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
No. No. What?
Louis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
High school diploma. PS1. Smoke weed every day.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. and toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
而家證明我哋可以 multitask。I
worried about him then.
左蘑菇控緊一樣嘢，右蘑菇控緊另一樣嘢。冇魚
Daydreaming
嘅。
at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis-topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for Sinister serpents. He followed the sound of her silver harp.
I'm 翻返轉頭讀翻嗰個音符，強迫症。
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. Began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
唉，嗰時候喺度一開頭切緊魚頭嘅時候已經諗緊佢會有一日切咗自己嘅頭，唉。
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
Oh, 踩到嗰啲波子嗰啲朋友嗰啲。
But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Yeah, 呢個 game 當初諗咗好耐要唔要買，我覺得好似好恐怖咁樣，就唔敢買。事隔2年，有免費我就鼓起勇氣玩。其實 Edith 係咪已經死咗？
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
The thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories! I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
我就睇睇已經覺得其實係咪 Edith 已經死咗，好沉重啊呢個故事。Trophy 獲得 ，everything ends。我都喺度諗緊點解冇獎杯嘅。最震撼都係嗰個爸爸自拍自己死咗嗰一刻。Trophy earned, thanks. 休閒。我覺得會早死。佢哋全部人都好後生就死咗，因為佢就話其實係冇呢啲咁嘅詛咒，不過但係佢哋真係被詛咒地全部都好後生就慘死。好沉重，好 sad 呢個故事。 頭真係好驚呢隻 game，好恐怖我覺得，後面就係覺得係種透唔過氣嚟嘅種感覺。其實睇呢個 end credit 佢啲 design 啊啲即係美術嗰啲做得好。係啊，呢個真係好。The replay the story option is now available. Select Edith to play from the beginning. 即係佢俾你淨係玩某一 part 嚟刷獎杯啦，我估。我唔刷獎杯啊。佢最 sad 嘅係，因為佢其實係單線㗎嘛，呢個故事你係冇辦法做任何嘅其他嘢，而即係佢就一路講話其實冇呢啲咁嘅詛咒或者乜嘢，即係事實上就係咁樣，即係究竟點解佢哋會俾人詛咒嘅？望下先，咁樣揀。唉。Sam 呢個真係好慘。幫我緩衝一下先。其實另一隻類似嘅 game， 嗰個 Everybody's Gone to Rapture， 嗰個其實同樣差唔多，不過嗰個玩咗一個鐘度，之後我就冇耐性玩落去。呢個我就一口氣玩完咗，用咗幾耐？2個鐘。好啦，等我完結呢個回合思考一下先。真係好容易玩遊戲，然之後就成個情緒陷咗入去，太投入。